Hey guys, Loco here. I'm here to bring you a brand new series. It's going to be called the LCS Recap, or maybe something else if I came up with a better name by the time this YouTube video releases. But basically, LCS is a lot to keep up with. It's like 10 games a weekend, and you probably don't watch all those games. You probably cherry pick your favorite games. So what I'm going to do for you is watch all the games and make you a highlight and tell you how the games went and what I thought during each game and give you my general thoughts. So yeah, now you can be lazier than ever and still really enjoy LCS. First game we have is TL versus Cloud9. Alright, let's get to the pick and bans. So both teams know each other very well, and they actually didn't switch up a lot of things going into 2020. I know C9 replaced some members, I know TL doesn't have their main jungler, but we can see from the draft that it is still very similar to what was going on in 2019. There's a lot of potget bans going on, or sniper bans, whatever you want to call it. The Echo ban, Orianna ban, definitely directed at Jensen. The Zoe ban, the LeBlanc ban, directed at Niski. I also thought the Ornn ban from C9 was interesting. Ornn's not really a traditional ban that we see a lot, but TL loves to play that teamfight style. TL loves to keep impact on tanks, so that's why that Ornn ban came down. Another ban that was really interesting to me is Qiyana. TL struggled a lot due to Jensen's champion pool at Worlds in 2019, and also before that in 2018, Jensen didn't play Akali or Irelia that much, and that was also problematic. So it's a little worrying to see TL still ban Qiyana on red side. The Akali ban I was also worried about, but I went back and checked. Pretty much every team on Earth is banning Akali on red side, first ban anyways, because that champion is too OP, so that one is whatever, but the Qiyana ban worries me. When we get into the picks, TL actually is very conservative, and they are working with some limitations. Due to them not having their main jungler Broxah here and Sternfire subbing in, especially since Pobelter was playing majority of the time and Sternfire just got his visa approved and he snuck in right before LCS started, I'd imagine they didn't have a lot of practice together. But one thing that is worrying is this Jarvan blind pick, especially versus an aggressive jungler like Blaver. Jarvan has a lot of bad matchups like Lee, like Elise. So yeah, this early Jarvan pick, very prone to getting abused. And another thing is this Azir blind I'm not in love with as much. More of the common blinds are stuff like Cassiopeia, and it's a little bit weird to see Jensen blind Azir instead. And also that Mordekaiser pick into Aatrox. The whole point of being on red side is making sure you have a very strong counter pick, but Morden to Aatrox isn't a very strong counter pick. So overall, TL going with a very standard team fight comp, but also maintaining their conservative attitude towards the game. When we go to C9, this is a very typical C9 comp. A lot of playmaking and a lot of flank potential with the Tahm Kench and the Aatrox. C9 loves approaching the game where they have a lot of tools to kind of mess with the enemy team and yeah, just flank a lot. We've seen Licorice on picks like Aatrox Kled so much during the regular season in 2019 and 2018. So let's start with some gameplay. Here you can see C9 bot lane pushing up and they're recalling in a pink ward. So TL actually does not catch them recalling, and you can see Double F going back to lane. He doesn't realize they recalled and they're actually swapping for Herald, so they're going to be massively behind on tempo. And C9 Blaver is actually able to start the Herald first. TL can't really respond in time, so they get Herald for free. Yeah, they take it. So this is a situation where C9 finally is using that Herald and they're about to siege on mid lane. Licorice checks too close to the river and Vulcan isn't ready to eat him whenever he got hooked. So the Herald push actually going a little bit to waste, but you can see Zben getting a really nice ultimate here as a response. Core JJ forced to burn his stopwatch, Sternfire flashing out immediately, Core JJ also flashed out. Now something really interesting happens. You can see, look at Jensen. He tries to E in as the cage ends, but he actually gets hit by the cage and then he ends up dying. Impact is able to finish off Vulcan because he ulted him. And now both teams kind of trying to set up for Dragon here. Zoning a little bit with the cage, shooting out skill shots. You can see Sternfire waiting in that brush. Blaver thinks almost everyone on TL retreated. They clear out that pink brush. Sternfire doing a great job of being patient and able to catch Blaver in the end. Impact try to flash E on the knockup to make sure in case that Blaver lives that he's not able to flash out. And TL is going to be able to get Dragon due to that nice catch from Sternfire after that stalemate of, I think, 1-for-1 catch. This is where problem really starts happening for TL. You can see Licorice is able to solo kill Impact in a side lane, and this is the kind of problem you have when you have a split pusher versus kind of a tanky champion, or basically when you have two carries going against each other. Whenever a champion is able to beat the other top laner in a side lane, it creates this situation where you have this hole that you always have to deal with. Like, you have to send two people to deal with them, you have to provide them vision, the other top laner is always going to be able to roam first. Like, this is a very common thing that happens in TL versus C9, where Licorice is actually stronger than Impact, and TL's always dealing with Licorice being a strong factor, and they need to start team fight on the other side. So this is where the macro really begins. You can see C9 and TL both really contesting for this mid lane priority, both shooting out skill shots, both trying to control Dragon, each team really clearing the pink wards off of the other team. And what's really important here is they're able to get vision control and mid lane prio. There's something I really want to point out here that's very, very important. You can see Jensen grouped up with the rest of his team and double lift mid lane. I actually think this is really problematic. I think Senna's actually quite a bad champion when it comes to wave clear and getting priority in the mid game. And Azir is notoriously famous for having insta wave clear by placing two soldiers and just clearing out the creep wave with his poke. And by having Azir with the team, he's not able to wave clear as efficiently. I really think he should be mid, and I think Senna should be grouped up with rest of TL because your Shroud works for her teammates. Her W is a really good catch tool. Her Q allows you to poke and allows you to heal up rest of your teammates. Yeah, just a big mistake from TL having the Azir and the Senna swapped. You can see Jensen ends up getting chunked here. Zben and Blabber taking the red. Now C9's starting to slowly push out TL from here. And this is a really, really strong point for Veigar, where he has both the Frosty items finished, he also has level 2 ult, and no one on the enemy team has QSS. So all C9 really has to do is push TL out through this right side, and they're able to take this dragon for free without TL really coming back at them. And now they can rotate towards mid lane because they already had mid lane prio before. They pick up blue on the way. And TL for some reason shows Mordekaiser bottom and he takes turret, but they're going to lose the second turret mid on top of everything. I really think this was a really bad move from TL, and this is where NA teams really fail in terms of macro. When a team like G2 is in this situation, they actually do a really good job of identifying, hey, we can't 5v5 at Dragon, the Veigar's too strong, they have too much catch tools, and we're not going to come out ahead. Let's everyone spread out or make a play on the opposite side of the map while they're taking Dragon, instead of doing what TL just did, which is opt into the losing 5v5 and just kind of air him it out. Now this is later on in the game where C9 is able to get control on Baron side. You can see how little vision TL has, both teams contesting for vision. Veigar, way better than Azir in a side lane, able to get priority first and move here. Blabber gets a really nice insect on Sternfire, and Sternfire can't escape, gets one shot by the Veigar, and now C9 is just going to be able to start Baron, and TL is not really going to be able to deal with it properly just because they don't have the jungler there. And one thing to really note is I want you guys to look at the two weapons that Zben's going to have. He has his flamethrower here, but once he's done with his flamethrower, he has his Severum and Infernum. And these two weapons are the best at taking out Baron. I'm pretty sure Zben is an extremely practiced Aphelios player, and he knew which two weapons to queue up for as they got ready for objectives. I mean, TL's checking in here because they just can't let C9 get Baron for free. The game's pretty much over once they get Baron, so making last-ditch effort to try to prevent it. But yeah, C9 able to spread nicely into 1-3-1, Veigar gets prio, able to group mid first, and they're able to pick off Lee and get the free Baron. On top of all that, having Zben the right weapons. So this is the game-ending push. C9 has both waves pushed up. Veigar and Lee Sin both have stopwatch because they know this fight's going to be really important. Gets a nice catch on double lift. Flash RQ, insta-burst him, stopwatches himself to make sure he doesn't die in return. Mordekaiser ults him, but Veigar's able to get a nice cage. And then Mordekaiser coming up for a Q, Nifty dodges it, and he's able to kill Mordekaiser too. Just extremely well played from everyone, but I really want to highlight how well Nifty played in that final fight and just throughout the whole game. It was a combination of everyone doing well, but Nifty, my god, you had a stellar game on Veigar. And for TL, I'm really hesitant and like kind of what the fuck on Jensen. He's usually one of their star players, but still banning Kiana. Kind of miserable performance from his Azir, which was blind pick with 2 protection picks in where they banned out LeBlanc and Zoe. And yeah, just really middling. A lot of people have questions regarding how good Sternfire is, and some people criticize him for building full damage on Jarvan. It's just kind of whatever. I think Sternfire was in a bad situation, and he did okay. He had that one nice catch on Blabber. It's not like he was playing terribly, and even when he's getting caught out at Baron, TL's losing control over Baron in terms of vision, and C9 has way more priority in side lane, so eventually someone was going to get caught out, and that person just ended up being Sternfire. I don't think it's really all on him. I think overall, TL didn't look that great as a team, but it's still way too early to judge TL. Let's see what happens once Brox is back, and let's see what happens once they realize, hey, we can't cruise through LCS just like we did in 2019. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I had a lot of fun doing the recap. I'm going to do it for every single game of LCS. Pray for me. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'll make it worth, and make it worth for me too by liking, subscribing, and commenting on the video. And one last thing, I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco. Bye.